Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Najaz Shidiq. I will present the analysis of 7 articles as final project of English course. First article with the title Islamic Education Values in Ziarah Kubur Tradition of Japanese People. Research problem. Research problem is writers' curiosity to find the value in ziarah kubur. Research result: Islamic educational values contained in the ziarah kubur tradition in Kumpurjo is that there is a mixture of Islamic tradition and Japanese culture that is integrated into a tradition that goes hand over beautifully without eliminating the significance of the value of Islamic tradition and Japanese culture. And from the procession of the ziarah kubur tradition of Japanese people, contain the value is Islamic education such as faith, biru walidain, the value of education so that people always submit to the world, and the value of social education. Conclusion: 1. Ziarah kubur is part of the ritual of Islamic religion. 2. From the ritual or ordinance, they all contain values that taught by Islam as well as values of Japanese traditions. In the implementation, it can be seen that both elements can be unified and work concise without eliminating the important values of both elements. In the process of the pilgrimage tradition of the crafts contains education is the value of education of the faith. The value of education of Qadriyah Walidain, the value of education so that people always have to do to the world, and the value of social education. Suggestion: so that the reader does not get bored, it requires correct writing procedure and use non-repeating words. The lack of this article use an inappropriate writing layout and use repetitive language that make the reader bored. Second article with the title Optimizing Islamic Education Toward the Golden Era of Indonesia. Research problem: how important educational factors are in preparing for the golden age of Indonesia. Research results: the result of this study are the exposure of optimizing education to reach the golden era of Indonesia from reviewing and analyzing and integrating various reference sources. Conclusion: optimizing education toward the golden era of Indonesia is everything in the form of the process of making education better to support and prepare every citizen toward the golden age of Indonesia. Optimization optimizing Optimization of this education is important because it serves as the best basis for the formation of character and way of thinking of each individual. Indonesia's golden period was marked by the dominant productive age total population of citizens. Suggestion: in the discussion of the article should discuss more about Islamic education, so that the title and discussion are more appropriate. The lack of the discussion in the article does not make the title, match the title, does not match the title. The discussion about Islamic education is only a little. Uh, the third article with the title Factor Affecting Critical and Holistic Thinking in Islamic Education in Indonesia. Research problem. What the factor that influence critical and holistic thinking in Islamic education in Indonesia? Research result. The result of the literature review article show that 1. Self-concept influence critical and holistic thinking in Islamic education. 2. System influence critical and holistic thinking in Islamic education. 3. Traditional influence critical and holistic thinking in Islamic education. Conclusion. Based on the formulation of the article and discussion, it can be formulated hypothesis for further research. 1. Self-concept has an effect on critical thinking in Islamic education. Number 2, systematic has an effect on critical thinking in Islamic education. Number 3, tradition has an effect on critical thinking in Islamic education. Number 4, culture has an effect on critical and holistic thinking in Islamic education. Number 5, self-concept has an effect on holistic thinking in Islamic education. Number 6, systematic has an effect on holistic thinking in Islamic education. Number 7, tradition has an effect on holistic thinking in Islamic education. Number 8, culture has an effect on holistic thinking in Islamic education. Critical thinking has an effect on holistic thinking in Islamic education. Suggestion. Writers should use language that is easier for the reader to understand. The lack of other article, the language, used in this article is very high that the reader need to understand and read many times to understand. Article number 4 with the title Change Management Transformation in Islamic Education of Indonesia. Research problem. How the change management process was carried out at the Islamic College in Indonesia and what the background change occur was. Research result. The result of this study indicate that the factor driving change were namely internal and external factor. Internal factor can be raised from within the organization of Islamic higher education institution. Meanwhile, internal factor can be raised from outside the organization of institution. Conclusion. From the result of this study, the author researched in the development of a theory of court living that seemed more dynamic, doctrining, freezing, innovating. The five steps of the change process the researcher product from an argumentative analysis that change in nature continued to occur so it took various innovation from one innovation to suggestion. My suggestion for this article is to include the Quran in this article because this article discusses Islamic education management. The lack of the article, this article does not include the Quran, even though the discussion is about Islamic education management. Article number 5. Muslim prayer, a new form of physical activity, narrative review. Research problem. How is the relationship between Muslim prayer regularly physical activity and what is the medical benefit along with the spiritual benefit? Research result. There are numerous physical and physiological benefits of salat because almost all the muscles of the body and joints are exercised during salat. Different studies prove the medical benefits along with spiritual benefit of salat. So salat can be considered as a new form of physical activity due to its multiple dimension positive effect on overall health. Conclusion. A sound body with sound mind is essential for every man to achieve the goal. Muslim prayer coordinates the action of body and mind of people. Different studies prove the medical benefits along with spiritual benefits. So, by this evidence-based research, Muslim prayer posture can be taken as a new form exercise for treating different muscular, musculoskeletal and neurological conditions. Suggestion. My suggestion for this article is to use a title that catches the reader attention. The lack of the article is the lack is that it use an attractive title. Article number 6 with the title Applying Clean and Healthy Behavior by Wudu for Health Benefits. Research problem. What are the benefits of ablution for health? Research result. Research result. The result of the review it was found that there are various kind of benefit of wudu is in a good and correct way for the health of the body. That is remove dust, microbes of various germs, oral health, dental hygiene, and eliminate bad breath make the mind calm and make blood pressure can work normally. Conclusion: washing hand remove dust, microbes or various germs. Gargling can maintain oral health, dental hygiene, and eliminate bad breath. Washing the head with water gives a cool effect that make the mind calm. Washing the ear removes the dust that stick. Washing your feet can clean and cleaning between your fingers will remove dirt and prevent mold growth. Water is able to relax blood vessels, then blood pressure can work normally, so that it can prevent us from various chronic diseases. Repeat wudu is able to remove bacteria and chemical material that stick to the skin surface, so that through the proper and correct implementation of wudu, you can feel the benefit for health. Suggestion. My suggestion for this article is that the discussion should be explained in more detail about the topic discussed. In the lack of the article in this article is that there is only a little discussion. Article number 7 with the title Islamic Education in the Globalization Era. Research problem. How is Islamic education in the era of globalization? Research result. Islamic education has a challenge in globalization era. The challenge of globalization in the field of culture, the challenge is of low level of social capital and structural, cultural, and human resources resource challenge. Meanwhile, the contribution of Islamic education in Indonesia can be mapped into two major categories. Character building contribution in the form of forming good man character, spiritual character, and character militancy, and the perennial system contribution in the form of traditional learning. Conclusion. First is related to the challenge of Islamic education include cultural challenge, low social capital challenge, human resource challenge, and structural challenge. The second is the strategic need to face the globalization era. This include A. Promoting a model of education planning. B. Encouraging government to act as a catalyst, facilitator, and community empowerment. C. Strengthening education focus. D. Utilizing external research. E. Strengthening collaboration and networking with various parties. The second is in the third is there were two major contributions from Islamic education derived, namely character building by focusing on cultivating individual, spiritual, and militant character. And the following point is about the perennial system contribution in form of the dedicated traditional learning. Suggestion. So that the reader does not get bored, it requires correct writing procedure and use non-repeating words. The lack of the article. This article use an inappropriate writing layout, so make the reader bored. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.